Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reto and Rhaps Race to Moral Questions in the background. How is, it, Rhapsody?
The moral questions, the backgrounds, Reto or Rhaps?
It. I don't know.
Because it's
I was
all
like,
good!
oh, baby.
Woo!
Is it good in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go? Still good?
You know what? I suspect it might be.
Oh, that's good.
I also suspect you probably got a significantly better run than mine, because my best item here is a silencer. How about yourself?
Ooh, I'm wondering about my run. I think I'm really excited because I got battery bullets, which, you know, robot starts with it, but it's a banger. I got magic lamp, which I like, but it isn't that fast for room clear. It's maybe only for bosses.
That's true.
So I think it's good. I think it's good.
I have a table tech sight, and I'm debating whether or not I just straight up drop it because it slows down time.
Yeah, you probably should, to be honest.
That said,
which is a bummer.
I never flip tables anymore.
Really?
Of course not.
Tables are OP.
What?
Tables are so overpowered. They're so fun. Okay, I don't know if they're overpowered, but they're like the most fun thing in the game for me at this point. Because how they like do the full bullet break effect and a big AoE around the table flip.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fun.
I know. I'd rather just be further away.
Hero. Oh. Further away. This guy playing an archer instead of a barbarian.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
just kill him with your rage, not your range.
I've played enough Undermine to remember that the only thing worth doing is range.
Yeah, that being said, I've seen a little bit of the light of the melee. It's not bad after you've upgraded it a lot. It's not bad. There's some situations where it's better, and I hate to admit it.
Would it be like particular boss fights?
Yeah. Particularly, just like as you play more and more, there's certain enemies that you're like, okay, melee is better for this one. But I think it's few and far between. I think it's probably like 20% of the enemies you should melee, 80% you should do range damage. That's how I feel so far. But there's 20% of them, yeah, I probably should melee instead. Or like, I don't know where you are in it. I mean, okay, because you streamed it. Did you stream a new save file?
I streamed an entirely new save file, and I ended that stream by fighting and I think killing the charged golem, which I think is just the episode you released today.
I mean, I guess this is coming out way after. Spoilers, everybody, for my Undermine series. I mean, when is this one coming out? Because I have some extreme spoilers. I got a big backlog for the first time in forever. But I beat the game.
Hell yeah!
On the one that came out yesterday. I think today or yesterday. One of the two.
This is
I don't know.
Be 3 days ahead, I think.
Okay. Yeah, well, but when this one's out, I don't want to say it just in case I'm super wrong, because I suck at time. But hey, Rhapsody, do you know that the game has looping?
What?
Not looping, but New Game Plus.
I did not. I do now, though.
No reason. And that answers my follow-up question. I was asked, and it really is so telling. So I might as well just be spoiling when I say I was gonna ask what ascension level you were on.
Oh, ascension levels. Ooh, I'm familiar with ascension levels.
Yeah.
Not in that game in particular.
It's super good, and that's why we were talking like off camera about it being replayable. It's because not only does it have New Game Plus, it has like New Game Plus forever, as far as I can tell. Which is fun, because that takes the one little bit the weirdness I have against permanent progression in roguelikes. Like, I usually see it and I'm like, it has permanent progression. That means I'm not gonna like it. Like, typically. But then two bangers got slapped in my face, Children of Morta and Undermine. Both have permanent progression and I dig it. Undermine does it great because it has ascension levels, you know, so then it's permanent progression, but also the game is permanently progressing.
Yep.
So it's interesting. It's a nice balance.
And Mortar, because it's like a finite experience?
It's just a banger. It's Mortar, it takes an interesting, no roguelike has ever had a story that I've given half a care about. Except for Children of Morta. And the way it implements like side quest story elements is really, really interesting because it has a lasting effect. So like you can enter some of these rooms because it's like a randomly generated dungeon. But say if Enter the Gungeon, like one of the rooms had like an escort quest in it, and you had to escort them across the floor, and you failed, and it's a kid, and the kid dies.
Oh god.
You go back to the hub world. Your characters will be talking about how bad they feel that they failed that side quest, and it's very interesting. I've never had anything like that happen in a roguelike, where it's like, how do you apply it to Gungeon? It's like, okay, what if I did Winchester's game and I lost, and you go back to the breach, and they're like, oh man, my aim is bad today because of the, but like in a meaningful way, you know. That's why I like Morta so much, and just the permanent progression. I'm into it in a way because it kind of feels like it is a roguelike kinda, but it's more like an action RPG with roguelike elements. And you know, RPGs obviously have permanent progression.
Is the gameplay similar to Wizard of Legend?
Yeah. It's similar to Wizard of Legend. It's really similar to like, yeah, it's probably really close to Wizard of Legend. It's gives me big Diablo 2 vibes, mixed with Wizard of Legend probably. Oh my god, two little shells just dropped on the ground with a bunch of hegemony creds, and it made a perfect smiley face.
Oh,
it is
adorable.
It is a sign for good things to come.
I'm also pleased that you just told me a bunch of hegemony credits dropped on the ground, because now I don't feel like I'm so far behind.
It's true.
Unless
well,
that was the third boss. Oh no, it was. You laughed too short. No!
I got Gundar Fury.
Yeah, so do I.
Oh really? Oh yeah, we're on the same seed. It must have been from a...
Yeah, the Reto and Rhaps race the same maps thing.
I forgot about that. Well, I mean, you know, like a lot of times we get different items.
Yeah.
You know.
I had a
Also,
really bad floor too.
Yeah. I mean, starting with the magic lamp let me shred bosses pretty well. I think I undersold it a little bit.
I love the magic lamp. I gotta be honest. This is one of my favorite boss clear weapons.
I love it for boss clear, and I love anything that, to use a frequently occurring term, it has like a little extra axis of interaction with it, where like if you get the ability to spread bullets, it doesn't just become as good as any other gun with spread bullets. It becomes super good. Or like that same thing, but with Hyperlight Blaster. I dig it. It's that kind of thing that adds extra replayability, not just replayability.
Yeah, I could not agree more. But yeah, this one is just, oh my god, Door Lord, really?
Oh yeah, just use Thunder Fury. Oh,
I will, but I've never been able to permanently, like reliably dodge the laser attacks from Door Lord.
It's one of those, it just shows up so rarely that it's like you don't get a practice. It's the same reason that for the longest time, I thought the Lich was a completely unfair boss. I just fought him the least. But speaking of Gundar Fury, I know that your exposure to MMOs is quite limited.
Extremely.
Right? Extraordinarily. I wonder, I mean, it's a topic at the very least. You know, Classic WoW came out this month. What's your opinion on the idea of like a Classic WoW or like old school RuneScape, things like that coming out? Are you like let it die, let your nostalgia die, or what do you think?
No.
Are you, because
of course I'm not letting the nostalgia die on that kind of thing. If people enjoy it, and I'm happy for them. I would probably play like an old school RuneScape, because I was real into RuneScape in my heyday.
you know they have one, right?
I do know they have one, but I also know that there is no way that I am going to get back into it, because
yeah.
anytime I read any information that RuneScape people are talking about the game in... Okay, that was way poorly phrased. Anytime I read information about RuneScape from RuneScape communities, it's like, this is another language. What the hell?
Yeah. I only lightly dabbled. I grazed lightly upon a meal of RuneScape when I was younger. I don't know. I don't understand a lot of it. I know that I liked it, but I don't know why. I want to play the Classic, even though my nostalgia for it is minimal. I've been playing WoW Classic, and I feel like a young child.
So, did you have like a previous experience? Like, was WoW Classic your steez for a while prior?
Oh yeah, hell yeah! My whole high school life was spent in Azeroth. I started playing it in Classic. My biggest amount of time playing was in the first expansion. Like like if they ever do anything that does that, I will be like, my nostalgia bucket will spill everywhere. But I definitely played quite a bit in Classic, to the point where it's the game I played the most. Like Gungeon's got 1,050 hours, but I'm sure it has nothing on World of Warcraft.
So what is the appeal specifically for playing the Classic version?
Well, I mean, number one, get the obvious answer out of the way. Nostalgia. Nostalgia, definitely. But a lot of people think that they made too many changes to make the game too accessible, and therefore made the world less personal. Like, you can... one major thing that I know for me is, like, the ability to join raids, which are the thing in, I mean, I'm sure you know, but for anybody who doesn't know, the thing in the game where you get together with groups of like 10 to 25-ish people, and you go take down a whole big set of bosses. In original Classic WoW, like the dungeons, even the 5-man groups, everything like that, you had to go around and actually like look for people, ask people, everything like that. In the new one, for example, you just click a button and you'll join a group with a bunch of random people on different servers. There's like the level of like, a lot of people think that with polish, like it lost a lot of its heart, and like you have no reason to communicate with other people in new WoW a lot of the time. And people don't like that, because that's a big tenet for a lot of people playing MMOs, is like they play it to be a part of this bigger thing. Surely they don't play it because World of Warcraft's gameplay is very good. That's
what I was about to say. Surely that has to be like a significant amount of the reason, because let's be honest, like if you are going to just play it solo, just play an RPG. That's the reason that like MMOs never really click for me, because I always just want to play them solo, and then I'm like, okay, I might as well just play a good RPG then.
Yeah, it's so that you can play with your friends, you can share your experience, like, oh, I'm level 10, what level are you? Oh, if we get together, we can do this. That being said, like the raids and everything, I mean, very like community aspect, very fun. I had a lot of fun. I was hardcore into raiding. Like I was probably like just went through puberty, and I was like leading raids.
Hell
and
yeah.
It was hilarious. And it is fun. It's fun to work at that. It is grindy, arguably maybe like Skinner boxy kind of way. But when you're doing that in a community, you're doing it for the community. I don't know. You're like, oh, my friend, like our priest got this thing. Like, that's very exciting. Like, let's do this tonight so that we can get all the people that aren't as stronger, get them geared up and everything like that. So I was, I do it for that sense, like the community sense. That's why I was into it. I played with my dad. I played with my friends growing up, and that's why I was into it. It would have rolled right off my back if I was playing it solo.
Yep, that's the position I found myself in. The community that I ended up finding was in TF2, but like the fact that it had dedicated servers was so important for it, because like I was part of a clan called the Muppets, and then we all just pitched in and got our own server together, and we were like all the admins, and it was really fun. Like people would just join in and you'd be like, oh, does anyone want to change the map? I'm an admin. And people are like, oh my god, you're an admin of the server? That's so cool.
Oh yeah, of course.
It's like I definitely was like a 13-year-old power tripper for like a while there as well.
Of course. All over the place. You get like, yeah, of course. Same thing with me in any situation as a child where I got any kind of power like that. It's you just feel cool.
Yeah.
You know, like that, and all everybody wants is to like be accepted and for people to think they're interesting in different levels, and like being young and being in a group online with ease of like barrier to entry of joining like a game server and everything, way easier than going out and being in public. Oh, of course.
I've seen so many articles recently talking about how Fortnite has replaced like hanging out on the schoolyard. And every single time I read an article like that, I'm like, that happens. That was already happening. Fortnite is just the latest.
Yeah, it is the latest. It is also probably just become the most talked about one. Yeah. And that's, it's just so easy. Like that's why it's like everybody. I beat the run, by the way. But everybody's talking about Fortnite just because it's the biggest one. But yeah, it totally happened all the time. As soon as there was like voice chat online, oh, forget about it. I didn't go outside.
Hanging out on Mumble or Ventrilo prior. Maybe Tungle if you're nasty.
Maybe which one?
Tungle if you're nasty.
Tungle? Tungle is nasty indeed. That name. I don't think I heard that one. Ventrilo, TeamSpeak, those are the ones. And then for friends, Skype. Everybody has it so easy nowadays with Discord.
Y'all seriously don't know, if you've never lived in a world where you actually had to use Skype, especially where you had to use Skype professionally, y'all don't know how lucky you are. It was so bad.
Oh man. The program that could never close.
I'll never understand why they decided, the red X? That should minimize the window.
It minimizes the window. What on earth? Oh, yeah, just force quit. I don't know. Oh, so glad. Somebody emailed me like this week and they said you can add me on Skype, and I'd say I'll never do business with you if you don't do business on Skype. I didn't say that, but I did in my head. I'll be like, I would turn down a copy of Enter the Gungeon 2 if I had to log back into Skype to get it.
You straight up would not.
Of course not. But I'm standing that ground. If that situation happens, I've made my bed now.
I'd prior stopped working with people because they only worked on Skype.
I mean, yeah, like me too, just by the fact that one day I never logged back in. So therefore, that's done.
I'm on my heart phase, so do not worry. It's not going to be an extended period of time here.
I've never been worried.
Oh, I'm almost certain that one's not true as well.
I've never been worried about this specific thing.
Ah, fair enough.
I have no problem just sitting here looking at the breach.
It's
talking
a good
on the internet using non-Skype.
Hell yes. I wonder how long until Discord gets enough crofts that something needs to replace it.
Yeah, I like when it's going on, like when the Discord day is happening, it's like that's not gonna happen. But it's like it will. So a lot of things change and adapt, and I could see it sticking around in some form. but everything's around long enough, it builds up enough barnacles, and just because it's there long enough, it's gotta go.
To be entirely honest, Discord has got a lot of scope creep going on at the moment. I mean, you can stream through Discord right now. It has a game store.
Yeah.
A couple of things it didn't need.
Yeah, the issue, it could have, is that it's trying to do too many things. Hopefully what they're doing is trying these things and figuring out which ones should not be a focus.
Yeah, it's so in 10 years, we're going to be using Discord Classic and talking about the good time.
Yeah. Oh man, you remember when you got in a call and you couldn't see inside someone's house?
Oh,
those
remember
were the
when
days.
you didn't just get their thoughts directly transmitted into your head?
Oh,
you actually had to wear headphones. Those were the days.
So much left to the imagination. But I mean, the one feature I will talk well about is the streaming. Because you say streaming and the people listening might think it's like, okay, it's just Twitch, but the idea is just so like if we were doing this, say if tomorrow this series was over and we wanted to, I was like, you know what, Rhapsody, I want to play Super Mario Sunshine, and we just co-commentate it. We could do that. Like it's to share with you,
Oh.
And that's what it's for. It's like for private calls. I can share my screen and stream, or I could do it like in the voice channels in Discord, and people could join in. You could play something like Quiplash. That's really what it's mostly for, I think.
Oh.
That's what my Discord channel's been using it for. Things like Quiplash, and I think that's really neat. I'll go to bat for that feature. The store, stupid.
Yeah. Also, like a large amount of Nitro features or Turbo features are just like, why?
Yeah.
Like
Bonus,
you can have 3,000 emoji on your server. Who has 3,000 emoji? Absolutely insane.
Too many.
I'm done with my run at the moment as well, by the way.
I'm happy to hear. Did you have fun with it?
I did indeed, actually. The Gunda Fury, like being perfectly accurate and fully leveled up, it's just like, it's a walkthrough. It's neat.
It's nice. It's nice. It's a how-to video. It's nice.
Exactly. Would you like to take us out?
Yeah, this is how to end an episode. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Greatly appreciate any all support you wish to leave on both of our series. Sorry, I've been doing a lot of solo today. Check out the links in the descriptions to find out everything you might want and more. There might even be Discords in there. Bye.
Catch you around.